nightmare.
Activate.
Well, alright guys, here we are, question number 2 from the 2019 paper 2 triple science biology, okay? It says many scientists think that global air temperature is related to the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Figure number 3 shows the changes in global air temperature and the changes in the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So we have this graph and it tells us the changes in air temperature since 1955 in centigrades. So you can see that's the scale going upwards. You have the years, and then you also have the concentration of carbon dioxide in the other side, okay, in parts per million. Now it says table number 1, here you go. It says complete table number 1, use the information from figure 3, choose answers from the box. You may use each answer once, more than once, or not at all, okay? So the trend in carbon dioxide concentration from 1960 to 1977 is increasing. From 1960 to 1977 is somewhere over here. Is increasing. Is it increasing the concentration of carbon dioxide? Let's see. Yeah, it is increasing. We can see it here, right? So it will be somewhere here. It's increasing, right? Then we go into between 1977 to 2003. 1977 will be somewhere around here, okay? To 2003, somewhere around here. Now if you want to be a lot more precise, you might want to use a ruler and start making divisions, okay? So for instance, if we get a ruler and we look at the distance between them here, that will be, so the half, you're looking at the half being somewhere here, okay? So that will be 2005. So 2003 will be roughly somewhere around that area there, okay? But as a general thing, we can see that from 1977 to 2003, the concentration of carbon dioxide also increased. This line here, these up and down lines, that will be the concentration of carbon dioxide, okay? So you can see that it's going up, okay? Now, from 2003 to 2015, so 2003, 2015 is all the way here, right? We can also say that it's also increasing. It's not as much as it was before, but it still has the upward trend, so it's also increasing. Okay, there you have it. And then it says that the trend in air temperature. So down here, what's happening to it? The trend in air temperature. So that will be the trend in air temperature. Okay, so if we look at this, the carbon dioxide concentrations will be this one here on the top. Okay, it says the carbon dioxide. And then the air temperature is down here, which is a lot more fluctuating than the concentration of carbon dioxide, which is constantly increasing. Now, between 1960 to 77, so 1960 was all the way up here to 77, that we said it was somewhere down here, okay, or maybe even here, right? But you can see that it's going downwards, okay, so it's decreasing. Now from 77 for 2003, so 77 to 2003, so we got 77 down here, and then we got 2003, someone up there. So we look at that trend, is increasing. Okay, and then from 2003 to 2015, somewhere there. Now we can say that that is more or less constant, or is this decreasing slightly tiny bit is decreasing, or you can say constant, okay? So either one of those will give you the mark. All right, and then you have it. That will be your answers for that question 2.1. Let's move on to 2.2. All right, so question 2.2. Many scientists think that an increase in carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere causes an increase in air temperature. How would an increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere cause an increase in air temperature? Okay, and we all know pretty much what's happened here. It just creates the insulation of around the Earth that doesn't allow the the infrared energy to leave the Earth, and it keeps it for longer inside the Earth. Okay. There you go. Right. So now let's move on to question 2.3. Evaluate evidence for and against the theory. So look at that. Evaluate. That means that you're going to go pros and cons, and then you're also going to give your actual personal opinion and justify your opinion. Okay. So it says evidence for and against, that's pros and cons, the theory that an increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere causes an increase in air temperature. And that is a 4-mark question. Okay, so you might want to have perhaps 2 things that compare one to the other, then you're gonna say your answer and then you're gonna justify why. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so now we could say that overall, as the CO2 increases, the temperature also increases, and they're parallel to each other. Okay, the CO2 traps infrared radiation which heats up the planet, so that could be the relationship between it. But also against, we can say that in some years, for example, from between 1960 and 1977, the temperature actually fall down when the carbon dioxide was increasing. Right, so there's a lot of different erratic changes in rises and falls in temperature that overall do not actually do not necessarily correlate with the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. But generally, as a whole picture, we can see that as the carbon dioxide increases, the global temperatures also increase. So you could write both of those things. You can write down 2 things on the pros, 2 things on the cons, and you get your answer from there. Okay, so let's go for the pros first. And we're going to say that the overall increase on carbon dioxide is parallel to the overall increase in temperature. Now, we can also say that the carbon dioxide traps radiation or traps heat in the earth. Now, against, we can say that in some years, for example, from 1960 to 1977, the temperatures fell even though the carbon dioxide was rising. Right, and we can also add that there are many erratic changes in the temperature changes, even though the carbon dioxide levels was going up as well. Okay. Okay, there you have it. So let's move on to question 2.4. Okay, so in each year, the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is higher in the winter than in the summer. Give 2 human activities that could cause a higher concentration of carbon dioxide in the winter. Okay, and that's pretty easy. We're looking at fossil fuels because a lot of places use fossil fuels to such as gas. Question 2.4. Give 1 human activity that could cause the higher concentration of carbon dioxide in the winter. And that's pretty easy, okay? Because during the winter, a lot of households tend to use central heating, which requires gas, which is burning fossil fuels, and therefore increasing the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. There we go. Right, question 2.5. Give 1 biological process that could cause the lower concentration of carbon dioxide in the summer. Right, and that would be photosynthesis, because remember that photosynthesis uses carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and because in the summer there is a lot more sunlight, the carbon dioxide gets absorbed a lot more in order for photosynthesis to take place. Okay. Now, because he's only telling us to give 1 reason, we're just going to write down photosynthesis. If he was asking you to explain and then you had more than 1 mark, then you want to go into the details as to why the carbon dioxide will be decreasing. Because it's only 1 mark and it says give 1 reason, we can just write down photosynthesis. Now, for question 2.6, give 2 possible effects of an increase in global air temperatures on living organisms. Right, and for that we can choose any from the following. Okay, we can say that plants will grow faster and they will have a higher yield. We can say that there will be loss of habitat, migration, or changes in distributions, and we can also say that it may also lead to extinction. Okay, so any of those will be good as long as you can actually kind of justify them a little bit. That should be fine. Okay, so 2 possible effects. We're gonna go for plants grow faster. Okay, and another one we could say it will be the loss of habitat. Okay, again, and it's because it's not asking you to explain it, we don't have to go into the details. So we know that it's gonna grow fast. The plants are gonna grow faster because it's gonna get more hot, and a higher temperature will result in a higher yield of photosynthesis, and therefore the plants will be growing faster because they will have more glucose to use for proteins and then it will help the plant grow. But because it's not asking you to explain it, you don't have to go into too much detail. Now the one that says habitat loss, we can count that as being water being evaporated. We can count as forest fires, and that will be leading to loss of habitat of different animals, different species. But again, because it's not asking you to explain it, all you got to do is give the possible effects. Okay, and that's it. That is question 2 from the 2019 paper 2 biology triple. So I'll see you in the next video for question number 3.